Every day, you make decisions that affect you and the people you care about. So do your elected officials. That's why elections are so important, because you are picking the leaders who will make choices that directly impact you and your community. Vote411.org is your tool for accurate and unbiased election information, whether you're registering to vote or learning more about your local candidates. Your vote is your megaphone. Use it to pick the leaders you trust. Get online, get the facts, and make your voice heard on Election Day.
Moving forward.
Aloha, Kako. We back from Maui with the Maui Local. Hey, elections on the horizon. We are just a little over a week away. Just mere fragments of minutes and days and hours. And guys, the primary attendance of voters was a paltry sum. Lest I go into a over-exaggerated, hyperbolistic, villainous diatribe against you all. Guys, you want change. You want the right to complain. Well, no can complain if no can vote. So get out there and vote, bro. All right? A lot of changes come through this year if you show up at the polls and continue to show up at council meetings and events in your community to talk and negotiate for our future and the legacy that we leave behind for our children. So, if you think got time, make time, because now is the time to report to duty. All right? So, go back, listen to all those interviews, read up on those amendments again if you need it. All right? Figure out what you're voting for, who you're voting for, why you're voting for them. Those cool little booklets that come in the mail tell you how it is. Don't listen to crazy ads. Don't listen to even my point of view. The only thing you should listen to when I tell you to vote is get out your booklet, figure out what makes sense to you, vote on what makes sense to you, and please fill in your entire ballot. There are a lot of things on our ballot that go unattended, all right? You got cousins on the other side of the island. Guess what? You're voting for their district representative too. So make sure to vote in their interests, all right? Don't just go, oh, I leave it blank because it's not my area. No, brah, all right? There are some folks that because voter attendance is so low, their community doesn't even turn out. So it's really you guys showing up to vote that makes a difference. Those 5 extra votes go a long way for securing our future, all right? So get on it. Make sure to get to the polls as they're opening, all right? I believe that mailing in has reached its maximum. Your late turn-in, it's coming on the heels of it. And really at this point is you want to walk in and get yourself a ballot, fill it out, get it counted, and make a difference, all right? So go do it. Do it, I'm telling you. That's if you do anything this week, please go vote, bro. All right, so fun in the news, fun what's going on, fun in the community. Guess what? ProArts Maui is showing Bent November 4th through 20th, Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays at 7:30 p.m., Sundays at 2 p.m. Set amidst the decadence of pre-war fascist Germany, Bent is an emotional tale of love as 3 homosexual men fight for survival in the face of persecution. Tickets, $25 to $35. Thursdays are Kamehameha nights for 10% off. Runtime, 2 hours with 1 intermission. Contains adult content and language, folks, all right, including partial nudity. All right, strobe lighting, simulated gunfire, the whole 9 yards, because it's war and it's love. So, ages 18 and up, all right? We'll leave the link in the show notes there for the box office. Check it out. Culture your lives. See something new. Get outside your bubble, all right? Shake up your life. See something from a different point of view. All right. Well, if that's not for you or you got to take the Litlins out, Maui on Stage, all right? This November's one night only. Monday, November 14th, Maui on Stage's Education and Youth Program presents 2 one-acts, Mother Duck and the Golden Goose, and Same Room, Different Story. They're a youth one-act and a teen one-act. Lots of lighthearted fun. Take the whole family. House opens at 6. Show starts at 6:30. Don't be late. We'll put that ticket link in the show notes as well. Also, coming up November 9th, Hawaiian Database Workshop. Guests will learn how to search Hawaii resources for information about their genealogical story. Participants will also be taught to look in non-traditional places, probate, land, and historic register records for information. This workshop is free, and open to the public as a community event on Wednesday, November 9th, in the Charles Reed Bishop Learning Center from 6 to 7:30 p.m. on the Kamehameha Schools Maui campus. All right. So we really only got one thing to talk about today, folks, because we got all this election stuff going on. So go back and listen to those, all right? I'm going to keep it short and sweet for your drive today, and we just going to talk about one thing. Maui County's Deputy Police Chief is retiring after just 10 months on the job. And now normally I'm not one to go into like crazy places, but like a lot of people are talking inside of the social media sphere and nobody's answering back. So I feel at this point like, okay, this is open to interpretation because like we kind of like, let's do some detective work on the detectives here, all right? So this guy was recruited by the current police chief when they worked together in Vegas, all right? And then they've got a replacement from within inside. So that's a good thing that they're not just importing another guy. But see, the thing that like some people are complaining and wondering about is like, did like our taxes just pay to move that guy out here and then possibly like retire? Was that like some kind of like good old boy handshake deal? Or was this really just the outcome of trying to move someone in to establish a pecking order? Because this is, I mean, anytime you want to send someone to upset the balance and then reconfigure how like the hierarchy works, you kind of want to bring a number two in. So I cannot fault them for the procedure because it makes sense. This part, him bringing in Charles Hang, makes enough sense that he needs backup. He's coming from a land far away. He's a fish out of water, landing in whole new waters. So if he wants to get lost in the soup, it's best to do it with a friend, right? Wouldn't you? So that aside, I think really what we're wondering about so much as the people this week is did he accomplish what he set out to do? Was it only supposed to be 10 months and they just didn't tell us? Or was this just a lollygag to get some guy a free pass to the Pacific? So these are things that, like, I think that if it was just lightly understood in the beginning, I think that that's why there's so many weird conspiracies and theories coming out about MPD and just, quite frankly, our police and judicial system. I mean, my DMs get kind of weird. There are some people with some very verified thoughts and ideas that, like, if I were to follow them deeper and dedicate the time as I can right now, we might find something. But I'm not there to say that we're going to find something exhaustingly crazy, because I think when we see someone like Pelletier brought into the system, it's there to get rid of a lot of inherent cronyism first. That's why you bring in a guy from the outside, because the likelihood that he's going to be connected to any of that or be approachable by any of that, nobody's going to want to take the chance, because he just looks like a snitch to all of them, which, fine, that's his job. It's his job to clean house. So has he cleaned house properly to send back his guy and he's earned everybody's respect? Or are we shifting gears in order to save face and survive something that was going to turn into a bigger mutiny? I mean, this is, I think that there's enough effort made to, like, you know, kiss babies and shake hands by the new establishment. But I think because of a lacking press system in our county and the want to just cover more, like, yellow and soft news that's just, you know, cute dogs today. And I mean, I'm all about that. I mean, half of our week is dedicated to talking about silly shit. But let's not believe the fact that we have all of this information and it's not regularly coming out. I feel that there's just not enough press communication. I mean, wouldn't we like to see more regular communication from these departments? And I think that that's half of what it is. I mean, there's just as much us not showing up, but there is just as much, oh, well, nobody's really asked for it till now, so we're not going to do it unless, like, it's really required for, like, a kiss-ass politics tour. And not to say that, the police chief's not doing his job, and not to say he's not making an effort, because, dude, if you get thrown into the thick of it and you've got to figure it out, how long is it going to take you to get to know every single person on the island, all their problems and woes, and then tackle those trials and tribulations head on? So I think in the new year, now that we're out of the weeds of all of these politicians and the election season, I think it's time for us to get a little more into it with all the other aspects of our government and its services, and get the police chief on. I hear he's a nice guy to talk to. So I think we could get a lot of things answered, and we get answered the way that we, it's no pandering, and that's the biggest thing that I could hope to give you. And this is probably going to be my first real attempt at like, let's open a discussion that other news channels can't, because people feel comfortable coming on here. If there's anything I'm proud to say in this year, is that we've gotten on a wide variety of candidates as they've been available. There have been some people that personally challenge my concept of reality, and I'm sure challenge yours, and vice versa. We might be seeing things a little differently depending on how you hear things and I hear things. And so with that, I'm hoping that this space is a safe place, not only for politicians fighting for your vote, but also for the people who work amongst us and for us in our community, and they can inform us, and they can inform us in a way where they're not going to bullshit me, because I won't let that happen, and I'll call it out for you if it's the case to call it out. But more so, I want to provide an environment where they can open up and they can tell it like it is without me having to drag them through the coals for you. What do you think about that? So, in the meantime, I'm going to think about deeper questions we can ask about this. You should come in the comments and mail it up. But we should really start focusing on what are the things that we don't understand in our community. How are there gaps in your understanding of civic engagement, or understanding how your county, your state, and your country work for you? All right? And we'll go on that journey together. I think that that's the most important thing we can do in our spare time between elections, and between all the fun and fluff that we get lost in along the way. So, with that being said, folks, start doing your research. Start chiming in. Feel free to hit me in the DMs if you don't want to get caught in a comment war having a crazy thought. A lot of you guys do. I even accept the emails. All right? So, Enti, if you're more the email type, send them. Send them. I read them all. All right? And ingest some more of those interviews. I think I got one more candidate after this, and then we're just going to call it. But I thank all of those candidates for coming on, making the effort, making the time. I have learned a little lesson as to how I can get a hold of candidates better next time, and we'll see if we can, not only like we did this year, beat most of the other stations on most interviews, but let's try to get all the interviews next time. So that's going to be my road to the next election. So in 2 years, we're going to figure that out, guys. But in the meantime, let's get in the weeds together. Let's figure out how to, dust ourselves off, clean up all the rusty hinges, and get moving, shake it out, and attack the world head on. Make some change with our hands, all right? We spent all this time learning during election season. Now we have to put it to work. So let's put it to work. Mahalo for joining me today for this short little one. Make sure to catch the rest of those interviews with our candidates here on Maui. Until next time, aloha.